Hi everybody, this is the Investing Teacher, high school science teacher, teaching others how to invest. In this video I'm going to do an update on my positions that I did on my 2-week long road trip. I'm going to have to show some of my adventures in the road trip with my family as well. And the main topic of this video is to go over why you have to be very patient with options. As you're going to see, pretty much all of my positions were not the way that I planned it, but by showing these different strategies like rolling down and out, selling covered calls, and getting assigned, as long as you have your patience in doing well with these options, I think I'll be fine in the long term. As always, like, subscribe, smash that button, all that good stuff, and let's get right to it. So as you'll see in some of the clips of my vacation and with my options, you need a lot of patience and time. Before I go over my options for the last few weeks, this was the trip that we made. Start from San Antonio, drove all the way to New York, made a few stops in Virginia, Delaware, my aunt, cousins near Philadelphia, back to New York, drove back to Delaware, and then in 2 days, drove middle of the night from Delaware all the way back to San Antonio. We did this route instead of the other route, with a few stops along the way. 28 hours each way, a lot of driving, but a lot of fun, as you'll see in the next few little clips.
Woo!
That last clip was Avery jumping first time in a diving pool. Took about 4 days of practice before doing that, and then she jumped again the rest of the trip.
Oh, it's not true, Liberty.
Here real quickly are some other little journeys we made. They were delivering packages in the Memphis Children's Museum, learning how to fly an airplane, going down the zip line. This was all on the Memphis trip. Playing 3 basketball hoops at the same time. Then we went to pick blueberries. That took a lot of patience to pick individual blueberries off the blueberry bush in Mississippi. There's me grabbing some blueberries. Then we went to a 4th of July party south of Nashville. Saw the Lincoln Memorial. Running down in a Washington, D.C. little park. Pretty quick. This did not take patience because they finished this in about 10 seconds.
7, 8, 9, 10,
11. So my Aunt Helen and the 2 kids and Murphy the dog in Delaware. This was with family in Pennsylvania. After about 6 hours of swimming, you can see they're pretty tired. Saw this nice castle park in Pennsylvania. Nice little slide there. Slurpee Day, 7-Eleven. We get a Slurpee every time, and this was in Pennsylvania. So all in all, it was a very fun trip. Took about 2 weeks. If you're new to the channel, I do videos every week, but took a little break here because of this long extended vacation. If you are, again, new to the channel, I'll be doing videos every week, so definitely subscribe to follow my option journey. So now, let's look at the options. Options were very interesting. Before the trip, and in my previous video, I went over some of the positions that I went through. I made all my positions either 730 or 820, so 30 to 45 DTE. And then most of them were delta 0.15 or 0.2. And I thought a few of them might be able to expire at 50% profit, but unfortunately, none of them did. In fact, some of them are actually in the money. So let's go over some of the positions and how I'm going to be using patience with my option trades, just like it took a lot of patience to drive these kids all the way to New York and back. A lot of fighting, a lot of stocks going down. It's the same thing, but let's get right to it. All right, so options and road trips take a lot of patience. I had SBCE. They went kind of into outer space, but not really. Right now it's at 30.20. I ended up doing a rollout to 820. I went a little lower from the strike price of 31 to 30. I did get a small credit out of it. The stock price was at 44.60 on the 1st of July. I did a July 30th expiration, strike of 31, so I thought there'd be a big cushion here. They get a decent amount of premium, 132. So I lowered the cost basis, 31 minus 1.32. The delta was only 0.12. They went out kind of in outer space, but the stock just kept tumbling, and it's actually in the money. So I decided to roll that out a little bit, did get a little credit, just going to wait it out and hopefully it comes back up to mid-30s. BBIG, it's at 3.35, but it was hovering a lot. It was actually in the mid-4s on one point on Thursday last week. So this is a covered call, by the way. 701, I sold a 820 covered call at 5 strike. It was at 395, tumbled down to 335, but I did receive $180 in premium for all the positions that I have. Just going to wait it out. When it's closer to no premium loss, I will just buy and close it and then do it again. Keep lowering that cost basis over and over. Wish, I did do covered calls. Right now it's at 9.27. I did do new covered calls from 820 at 15 and 17. My initial purchase price was a little under 13. I brought the cost basis down to mid 11s. So I'm still down quite a bit on this position, but 708 sold to 723, 15 strike, premium was 120. I ended up buying to close that one, and then I made new covered calls. Again, lowering that cost basis each time. TLRY, this is one I'm currently waiting on. Again, July 1st, sold to July 30th. Stock price was at 17.81. Made the strike at 15, so this is a little bit closer than the other ones. Did get a good premium, 118. So I'm pretty much at the money in terms of no profit and loss. If you take 15 minus 1.18, it's very close to the 1391. The delta was 0.2 though. So again, all of these positions, delta 0.2 or less, just happen to not go my way. It does happen at times. Even when you're a casino owner, you may not necessarily win all the bets that you have. Kind of on a bad beats, so to speak, in the last few trades. But I'm just going to wait a lot of these out. Workhorse is another one. It was at 16.95 when I did it on June 28th. Made a monthly expiration at 12.50. Good amount of premium, 12.71 off a few positions. Delta 0.15 again. Went down to 11.17. So big drops for a lot of these positions. I ended up rolling out to 8.20. I lowered the strike from 12.5 to 12. So $50 back into my brokerage account. And I did get a small credit out of this as well. This is another one I'm probably going to wait a little bit. If I could roll down and out like I did here a few times, I'm willing to do that and be patient. But I might eventually have to sell covered calls on it. Some of the key points that I've noticed during my trip, not all positions will work out. You got to assume that when you're doing option selling, some stocks could tumble, especially the high IV positions. But rolling down and out does give you some flexibility. It could lower your strike price. It could possibly lower your break even. And you can still receive some credits. Obviously, the credits won't necessarily be as big as the initial position, but patience is a virtue. For covered calls, you can help lower your cost basis and get paid to wait. I'm doing that for Wish and BBIG right now, where I think over the long term, they're going to be just fine. Wish will possibly move pretty big on the upside in the next few weeks with earnings coming out in mid-August. And I'm just lowering that cost basis each time. Almost every month, I'm lowering it almost $1 at this point, selling covered calls right at my initial purchase price, not the cost basis. All of my deltas in the previous slides were 0.2 or less, and all of them went in the money. Life happens sometimes. I mean, the odds are maybe one of these 5 or so would have been in the money with 20% chance, but unfortunately, all of them went in the money. I'm still willing to wait it out and then hopefully eventually turn to profit on all these positions. So just like hearing my kids cry for the millionth infinity time when they're in the backseat of a car driving from Delaware to San Antonio in a few days, a lot of these options you just got to be patient on. Before I made the trip, I thought maybe one or two would possibly buy to close at 50% profit. Unfortunately, none of those happened, and I'm just going to be waiting out these positions. Luckily, a lot of the positions I made are ending on 8:30, and I already had locked in pretty decent amount of profits for the month, and I'll show you that on the next update video. So again, this is the Investing Teacher. I'm a high school science teacher, teaching others how to invest. If you found any benefits to this video, please like, subscribe, share with others. Definitely want to help out as many people as I can and like helping the community out. If you have any questions on any of these positions or any other positions you have, feel free to leave a comment down below. I read and respond to all comments. And you guys have a great day.